Hi, today we're going to look at how to play Angels 1-6. We're going to be flying the Spitfire here, KLA, and we're trying to shoot down this Messerschmitt here, yellow 10. We've got three resources in the game. We have height. You can see the stands go up and down, so yellow 10 is at height 2, whereas our Spitfire is at height 1. Then we have airspeed, which is how fast you're going to move on the table. And then we have actions, which is your situational awareness. The first thing that happens every turn is you go to 2 actions. Then you roll 3 dice. Every 4, 5 or 6 gives you an extra action. So we've got a 3, a 4 and a 6, so that gives us 2 extra actions. We have 4 actions for the turn. So during your turn you work across the maneuver table here from left to right. You can't go backwards, so once you've done a climb you can't do a break. You have to keep going left to right, but the only things you actually have to do are power and move. You can't stop moving, you're an aircraft. So the first thing we have here is power. We have a +3 power on a Spitfire, so we go from 2 to 5. Now if we're already starting at 5, we wouldn't go up to 8, we'd stop at 7 here, because that's as fast as a Spitfire can go. If we were at 7, we'd stay at 7. The only way to get into the red is by diving, but if you dive into the red and then stop diving, you'll slow down instead with your drag coming back towards the 7 here. The first choice we get is whether to shoot or not. Shooting costs 1 action, so we'll take 1 action and we'll shoot. To shoot, we need a target along this little red line along the front of the aircraft and within the range of a ruler. We do, so we can shoot. The score to hit depends on where you're looking at the target. If you're doing a tail chase, it's 3, 4, 5 or 6, 3 plus. From the front, it's 4 plus, a little harder because of the closing speed. And from the side, a deflection shot is 5 plus, quite difficult. But fortunately, yellow 10 is positioned so that we're going to get a tail shot. So we're hitting on 3 plus, that's a 3, 4, 5 or 6. There are 3 modifiers. The first is range. The ruler's got 3 range brackets, +0, +1, +2. And we're well within the +0 range bracket, so that's going to stay at 3 plus. The second one is height. Every height difference is +1. We're at height 1, the Messerschmitt's at height 2, so that's going to increase the score required by 1, from 3 plus to 4 plus. And then the final one is our 2-hit modifier on the cockpit, which in this case is nothing. Now, we do have 2-hit modifiers on the Messerschmitt. The cannon are big and dangerous with very high firepower, but they're harder to hit with. They would increase the score required by +1 to 5, whereas the machine guns are easy to hit with. They would reduce the score required back down to 3. But we're firing a Spitfire, so our score to hit remains at 4 plus. We have 8 303 Brownings, so we grab 8 dice. And every 4, 5 or 6 is going to score a hit. That's a 6, and a 4, and a 5, and a 4. That's 4 hits. We'll leave 4 dice here. Now the German player rolls 4 airframe saves, 1 for each hit. Every 5 plus they score is going to cancel one of the hits that the Spitfire scored. And they got 2 5 pluses, so that's going to remove 2 hits. They took 2 hits. The last thing we do in shooting is we come to firepower here. Our 2 unsaved hits from the Spitfire now need to roll a 6 to shoot down the Messerschmitt. Having scored a 6 here, that's a successful firepower test and the Messerschmitt's shot down. That's it. No damage, wounds, no hits, nothing else. It's either alive or dead. No sane pilot's going to fly a damaged aircraft in combat. Of course, the definition of damage depends on the pilot and the aircraft. In this case, that would be enough to shoot the aircraft down. But let's ignore that result and reset ourselves, pointing this way instead. Now we go to shoot, but we don't have a target. So we can't shoot, so we skip that and we come to brake. And you've heard in movies, brake right, brake right. Well, we're going to brake left. And that is a single 45-degree turn at the beginning of your movement. Now, the brake is going to cost us 2 actions and 2 airspeed. 2 actions, 2 airspeed. Now we're pointing at the target, And ignoring split S for the moment, we have the option to shoot. So that's just the same as before. And we'll take that and we'll shoot. Let's pretend we didn't shoot it down. We just scored 2 hits and didn't get a 6. Let's ignore climb and dive for the moment as well. And we'll come to move. Now, whatever's on your airspeed indicator when you get to the move is how fast you're going. So we're going 5. And that is going to put us here, right in front of the enemy, which is the exact opposite situation we had a few moments ago, which isn't very good for us. So we're going back to where we were, here, and we're going to come up with a better plan. Now we can't turn because we've already done our break to come to bear and shoot, and we can't turn again until after we've moved. So we need to slow down, and the best way to do that would be to climb. 1 action, 3 airspeed. We go up a level, and now we're climbing. And now when we come to our move, our airspeed's only 2. So we move 2, 1, 2, right in behind the Messerschmitt there. Much better positioning. So we've gone all the way across to our move. Now we've got the option to turn 1, which is a 45-degree turn, turn 2, 90 degrees, turn 3, almost right round, and Immelman, which allows us to go back the way we came. The problem is we have no airspeed, so we can't afford to reduce our airspeed to make that turn, and also we have no action, so we can't do either of that. But that's not a problem because we're actually positioned where we want. And then we have a third option to shoot here. Unfortunately, we have no action. Otherwise, we'd take another action and shoot from point blank range, 3+ because we're shooting at the tail. No range problem, no height problem, no other modifier. We'd roll her out 8 dice, needing 3+. That's pretty good shooting. But we didn't have that spare action, so we don't do it.
That's the end of this Spitfire's turn. Now all of the other British aircraft have their turn. Then the German players take a turn for all of their aircraft, and that's the end of the round. Back to the British again. That's how you play Angels 1-6. For more information, go to our website, angels16.com, and sign up for the newsletter there to keep up with the latest news, or follow our page on facebook.com/angels16, or join our group Angels 16 Gamers at facebook.com/groups/angels16, or follow us on Instagram at instagram.com/angels_1_6. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.